The right haircut after 70 can do something makeup and creams never will. It can make your spirit look younger as much as your face. When the shape, length, and movement are chosen for your features now, not for who you were 30 years ago, it creates that gentle non-surgical facelift effect, lifting the eye, softening lines, and letting your natural radiance step forward. Many stylists say a truly flattering cut can take years off without you trying to look like anyone but yourself. Imagine seeing a reflection that feels lighter, kinder, and more you than it has in a long time. That is what these 5 haircuts are about. In this video, you will discover 5 haircuts that help women look younger after 70, not by chasing youth, but by highlighting wisdom, warmth, and softness. This is not about becoming unrecognizable. It is about finally matching your outer style with the strong, intelligent, vibrant woman you have grown into. As you listen, picture yourself running your fingers through a fresh cut that sits just right, frames your face beautifully, and makes you smile before you even put on lipstick. If your current haircut still belongs to the woman you were at 40, stay with me. These 5 styles are designed for the brilliant, beautiful woman you are after 70. And just one small change could make you look fresher, softer, and more alive on camera and in the mirror. 1. Blunt bob with soft movement. If you want a cut that instantly looks chic, polished, and quietly youthful after 70, a blunt bob with soft movement is one of the most reliable choices. There is a reason this cut keeps coming back in recommendations for mature women. It is clean, modern, and gently lifting when it is done right. A bob that hits somewhere between your chin and just above your shoulders draws the eye upward, away from the lower face and neck, which can subtly soften the look of sagging or loose skin without trying to hide your age. The strength of a blunt bob comes from its outline. When the ends are cut into a neat, solid line, the hair immediately looks healthier and more substantial, even if your strands are naturally fine. That crisp edge creates the illusion of thickness and fullness, which alone can make you look more vibrant and rested. On a woman over 70, that sense of healthy structure around the face makes an enormous difference, especially when skin has softened and lost some natural firmness. But the secret to looking younger rather than severe lies in the details. You do not want a stiff helmet. You want soft movement within a strong shape. Ask your stylist for a clean blunt line at the bottom to keep the cut modern and strong. Subtle interior layering to add movement without losing that blunt edge. A gentle bevel under the chin so the hair curves toward the face rather than hanging flat. This combination lets the hair move when you walk, laugh, or turn your head, which brings youthful energy into the look. Fringe is optional, but it can be very kind to mature faces. Wispy bangs or a soft side-swept fringe can blur forehead lines or a high hairline, while still keeping the eye area open and bright. If you prefer no bangs, ask for a slightly off-center part instead of a strict middle part to keep the overall effect relaxed and forgiving, not rigid. Color choices also matter. A blunt bob can look heavy if the color is very flat or too dark. Soft highlights around the face, or a gentle transition into gray and silver, create dimension and give the impression of hair that has lightened gracefully over time. Only more flattering and intentional. Fine ribbons of light, placed around the front, catch the eye and echo a youthful glow without trying to erase your natural gray. With the right length, a crisp outline, and just enough movement, a blunt bob becomes more than just shorter hair. It becomes a face-framing frame that honors your story up to now while placing a spotlight firmly on the woman you are at 70 and beyond. If your bob makes you feel boxy, flat, or invisible, don't give up on it yet. One tiny shift, from stiff to softly moving, can turn your bob into the most flattering mini facelift you have ever had without a single needle. 2. Mid-length cut with long layers. If you love the feeling of having some length, but suspect your hair might be working against you, a mid-length cut with long layers can be a beautiful middle ground after 70. This is the haircut that lets you keep your softness and femininity, while quietly lifting and lightening your overall look. A mid-length style that rests between your collarbones and the top of your chest is especially kind to mature faces. It avoids the curtain of hair effect that very long hair can create, which often drags the eye downward and emphasizes the lower face and neck. Instead, this length allows your hair to move and breathe while still giving enough versatility to pin it back, create a ponytail, or tuck pieces behind your ears when you want the hair out of the way. The magic, however, is in the long layers. These are not choppy, short, or extreme. Long layers are designed to remove weight without stealing length, so the hair feels lighter and more alive instead of heavy and limp. When placed thoughtfully, they can act almost like soft focus filters around the face, skimming past the cheeks and jawline, smoothing rather than exposing. For many women over 70, layers that begin around the cheekbones or just below can bring attention to the eyes and high points of the face. Softly frame any areas you feel self-conscious about, such as the jawline. Add gentle movement that feels effortless and youthful, not styled within an inch of its life. If your hair is fine, ask your stylist to go easy with thinning shears and focus on shape, not removing volume. A few well-placed face framing layers and light shaping through the ends can give the illusion of more fullness around the crown and sides, especially if your face is long or narrow. If your hair is thick, those long layers are your best friend. They carve out space inside the cut, allowing the hair to move freely and preventing the bulky, blocky look that can feel heavy and aging. Styling can stay simple. Soft waves created with a large curling iron, heatless overnight methods, or just a light styling cream and air drying can add texture that feels relaxed and modern. A gentle side part and a few strands tucked behind one ear reveal just enough of your neck and jaw to look elegant without feeling exposed. Color can enhance the impression of youthfulness even more. Fine, subtle highlights or a sun-kissed effect around the face mimic the way hair lightens naturally in the sun, but with control. This kind of dimension makes mid-length layers sparkle and move. With this cut, you get the best of both worlds. Hair that feels romantic and feminine, but light, manageable, and kind to a mature face and lifestyle. If your long hair feels like it's pulling your whole face downward, don't panic. The answer isn't chop it all off. It's this gentle mid-length with long layers that quietly lifts everything back up. 3. Youthful fringe that frames the eyes. If there is one small change that can instantly make a woman over 70 look fresher, more approachable, and more vibrant, it is often fringe, bangs that frame the eyes. Think of them as a soft curtain that redirects attention to where your light still shines the brightest. Your eyes. Stylists often describe bangs as a built-in filter for mature faces. When shaped carefully, they can soften forehead lines, conceal a high or thinning hairline, create a beautiful frame that leads the gaze directly to your eyes. This matters because eyes tend to keep their sparkle, emotion, and life at every age. When you draw focus there, the overall impression becomes more open, warm, and youthful. The wonderful news is that fringe is not one size fits all anymore. For women over 70, some of the most flattering options are wispy side-swept bangs, light, airy, and incredibly forgiving. They skim gently across part of the forehead and blend into the sides, avoiding a harsh horizontal line. This works beautifully with bobs, mid-length styles, and even softer shags. Curtain bangs. These part softly in the middle or slightly off-center, and fall on either side of the face, following the natural drape of the hair. They have enough length to feel elegant and grown-up, while still giving you that gentle veil over the forehead. Feathered full fringe. If you like a bolder look, a fringe that hits around the brows can be surprisingly stunning, if the ends are feathered and textured rather than blunt and rigid. The softness at the tips keeps it from feeling heavy or severe. The texture is what keeps fringe from looking dated. Feathered or wispy tips move when you move, catch the light, and blend naturally into the rest of your cut. This is especially helpful if your cheeks have become more angular as you have lost volume over time. The soft movement of fringe can gently balance those changes. When considering bangs, you also need to think about maintenance and daily life. Bangs usually require more frequent trimming, often every 3 to 5 weeks to keep them at a flattering length. A few minutes of styling, especially if your hair tends to kink, wave, or separate at the front. If your hair is curly or wavy, a slightly longer, softer fringe that can blend into your curls can look beautiful and less fussy. If your hair is straight, a quick pass with a round brush and a light product is often all you need to keep them smooth yet soft. Beyond the visual effect, fringe can give you an emotional boost. There is something powerful about looking in the mirror and seeing your eyes framed, your forehead softened, and your features gently balanced. Many women report that they start making more eye contact, smiling more easily, and feeling more present once they fall in love with their fringe. That inner shift is what truly reads as younger. If you feel like your forehead is telling your age before your smile does, don't rush to more makeup. The right fringe can quietly erase years in the top third of your face in the kindest way possible. For soft shag and textured layers. If very smooth, perfect hair makes you feel like you are fighting your natural texture every single day, a soft shag with textured layers might be the cut that finally lets you breathe. Modern shags are nothing like the heavy, exaggerated versions of the past. Today's versions are softer, more refined, and wonderfully flattering on women over 70 who want movement without chaos. What makes a soft shag so youth-enhancing is its energy. Thoughtful layers create lift at the crown, fullness at the sides, and a lived-in texture that whispers ease and vitality. The cut usually works best on medium to short lengths, anywhere from the cheekbones to just below the shoulders. The layers are sculpted throughout, with special attention around the face, where slightly shorter pieces can open up the eyes and highlight cheekbones. Because the ends are often feathered or tapered rather than blunt, the overall effect is light and airy. This can be especially kind to mature women whose hair has become more unpredictable, with more wave, frizz, or uneven texture than before. Instead of fighting every kink and curl, the shag welcomes them as part of the style. For women with thinning hair, a soft shag can create the illusion of thicker, fuller hair. The textured layers mean that hair does not have to be perfectly smooth to look intentional. A bit of movement at the crown can visually lift the face, while wispy, pixie ends keep things from feeling heavy around the neck and jawline. For women with naturally wavy or curly hair, the shag celebrates that texture, turning what might feel like problem hair into your most powerful asset. Styling is often simpler than it looks. Many women can let their hair air dry with a little mousse or light cream, gently scrunching or twisting sections as they dry. Those who prefer a bit more polish can use a round brush just at the top to smooth the crown, leaving the ends and layers freer and slightly undone. The goal is never perfection. It is controlled softness and motion. Shags are also beautiful with natural gray or salt and pepper hair. The layered structure lets different tones, silver, charcoal, white, catch the light in different ways, creating built-in dimension that rivals traditional highlights. Instead of hiding age, the cut frames it in a dynamic, stylish way. You can pair a soft shag with various fringe options, curtain, bottleneck, or light choppy bangs, depending on how much forehead coverage you like. Each combination offers a different mood: romantic, edgy, playful, or classic. Looking in the mirror with a well-cut shag often feels like meeting a version of yourself that is freer and more expressive. Someone who is done apologizing for her texture and ready to let her hair tell a new story. If sleek, flat hair makes you look tired, your hair might be begging for a soft shag. One set of gentle layers can turn unruly into effortless. And that shift alone can take years off your whole vibe. 5. Modern pixie or bishia confidence. Few cuts say, "I know who I am," after 70 as clearly as a modern pixie or its slightly longer cousin, the bishia, a cross between a bob and a pixie. Short hair, when cut and shaped with sensitivity, can be incredibly youthful. Not because it hides your age, but because it reveals your features with clarity and confidence. A modern pixie today is not a flat cap glued to the head. It usually includes soft, choppy layers for movement, a bit of length on top for volume and styling flexibility, often a side-swept or curtain-inspired fringe to maintain softness around the face. For women with fine hair, this kind of pixie can make the hair look thicker, fuller, and more intentional. Short layers stack and support each other, creating volume where you want it most, at the crown and through the top. For women with thicker hair, a pixie or bishia allows strategic removal of bulk, so the hair sits closer to the head in a flattering, sculpted way instead of feeling heavy and wide. The bishia keeps more length than a traditional pixie, often leaving softness around the ears, nape, and cheeks. It's a wonderful choice if you are curious about short hair but not quite ready for a dramatic chop. The bishia can be styled sleek for special occasions, be tousled and texturized for a casual modern finish, work beautifully with glasses, earrings, and scarves highlighting your personal style. What makes these cuts especially kind to mature women is the way they shape the face and neck. A little height at the crown elongates the face. Cropped sides and a clean neckline open the neck and shoulders, giving a lifted, elegant impression. Wispy pieces near the temples and around the ears can soften lines and gently guide attention back to your eyes and smile. Short cuts also make your color, whether natural silver, white, or tinted, look intentional. The shape frames your gray as a style choice, not something you are trying to hide. Because there is less hair, shine and texture become more noticeable, which can look very chic and modern. From a daily life perspective, a well-shaped pixie or bishia can dramatically simplify your routine. Washing and drying take minutes. A small amount of product, such as a light texturizing cream or spray, can be enough to create lift and definition. That saved time and energy each morning can quietly add up to more presence and joy in the rest of your day. Perhaps most importantly, choosing a shortcut is often an emotional decision. It is a quiet declaration that your face, with all its stories, is worth showing. That you are not hiding behind length or clinging to rules about what older women should do with their hair. If your hair feels like a weight you've been carrying for decades, listen closely. The right pixie or bishia can feel like putting that weight down. And what it gives back in confidence might surprise you more than any number on a birthday cake. Youthfulness that feels like you. Reaching your 70s and beyond is not about chasing the girl you once were. It is about honoring the woman you have become and choosing hair that supports her instead of hiding her. The right haircut will not erase your years. It will celebrate them, while lifting and freshening your features just enough to let your natural radiance breathe. Whether it is a chic blunt bob, gentle mid-length layers, a face-brightening fringe, a soft shag, or a confident pixie or bishia, the best style for you is the one that works with your face shape instead of fighting it, respects your hair texture instead of trying to punish it into submission, supports your lifestyle, not just the 20 minutes after you leave the salon. The goal is not perfection. It is ease, movement, and harmony. You want a cut that looks good when you are dressed up and when you are in your most comfortable clothes at home. You want to be able to run your hands through it, tuck it behind your ear, or fluff it at the crown without needing a drawer full of tools. When you sit in your stylist's chair next time, bring pictures if they help, but also bring something more important. Clarity about how you want to feel. Do you want to feel lighter? Sharper? Softer? More playful? Tell your stylist what you love about your features and what you prefer to gently downplay. A good professional will translate those wishes into shape, length, and texture. Also remember, you do not have to change everything in one day. You can start by adding fringe to a familiar cut. Shift heavy long hair to a mid-length with long layers. Move from a bob to a bishia before exploring a full pixie. Each small step is a chance to get used to your reflection in a new, kinder way. Over time, you may discover that your favorite haircut ever is the one you choose in your 70s, not your 20s. If this video has sparked ideas or given you courage to try something new, consider it a gentle nudge from a friend who believes your next chapter can look just as beautiful as it feels. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, leave a comment sharing which cut you are considering next, and share this with a friend who deserves to see herself with fresh eyes too. Your hair is not just about style. It is one more way to say, I am still here, still growing, and still allowed to feel beautiful at every age. Before your next haircut, don't just ask, what's trendy? Ask, what makes me feel most alive? The moment your hair and your heart agree, that's when you stop looking older and start looking like the very best version of yourself after 70.